18th show this year. Pretty crazy. And we do have the playoffs coming up next week, but those will be short shows by comparison. This week, everybody plays on either Saturday or Sunday. A lot still to be decided, I think, in the NFL. At least there's things to be decided. We've been in the final weeks before where nothing was going to be decided, but not the case this year. So at least there's something. Usually, in these sports, as they expand the playoffs, um, if they expand the playoffs, then it makes it more exciting at the end of the year. It's pretty much all it does. But it looks like in the AFC East, which is the number 2 seed overall, will be decided. We have Jacksonville, Indy, and the Houston Texans all tied in the AFC South. That'll be decided. More than likely, 2 will be in, and 1 could be out in that one. Right now, it's the Texans on the way out. And then in the NFC, it is the Buccaneers needing to win, the Saints needing to win, the Seahawks need to win, the Packers need to win. So a lot still out there. But then there are other teams that have nothing to play for, and that's where we kind of start off the week. So we've got so Jay, the Cowboys are cemented as number 2, or they need to win.
Win, and we get 2. So it's a must win.
So yeah, there's a lot to be decided here. We've got the Ravens and the Steelers going at it. The Ravens have already said they're sitting everybody for this game. The Steelers, I believe, need a win, and I think even that won't do it.
They don't need a win. They can still get in with a loss.
So they can still get in with a loss, but
They would be much better served with a win, obviously, though.
but who does
If the Broncos win and the Jaguars lose, then the Steelers do get in with a loss.
how many teams get in? So 9 teams get in?
No, 7 get in. Yeah.
So the Texans or the Colts, right? They play each other, right? That one, the winner is in, right?
I would think so, yeah. But don't ask me.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Jay, do you know?
Steelers need a win and a Buffalo loss. They need a Steelers win and a Jacksonville tie or loss.
The Steelers have like 7 different combinations
Yeah,
that they can get in,
correct.
and one out of the 7 is the Steelers could lose. So, bottom line is all these teams need to win. I mean, they.
Correct.
Everybody needs to win except for Miami doesn't need to win to get in. But they need to get in to win the division.
I mean, most of the teams they would rather be seated second than sixth. So, you know, they all prefer to win for the most part. Other than like the Ravens, which are cemented, the 49ers, which are cemented, um, the Chiefs, which are cemented. But outside of those 3, I think pretty much every other team really does prefer to win.
Well, the Steelers are favored by 3.5 here on the road against Baltimore. Baltimore's made it clear Lamar Jackson is not playing in this game. My guess is a lot of the other starters will also not be playing in this one against the Steelers, who absolutely need the game. But the line's really not that high considering all of these things.
Well, it is. I mean, the line's actually up to 4 right now in most places. Still 3.5 at BetMGM.
But
I mean,
if you
to me,
bet it, they'll throw you out at BetMGM.
Right.
Don't bet it. They'll throw you right out of that place.
I mean, because what would the line be if Baltimore was playing? Baltimore would be favored by what, 7.5? So the line does reflect the fact that the Steelers need to win, and Baltimore, doesn't.
Well, do the Steelers get it done? They never seem to make it easy on themselves, Al.
I mean, I think Pittsburgh does get it done. I mean, Baltimore, they're 2-10 ATS at home versus the Steelers. I mean, obviously these two teams, they're one of the best rivalries in the NFL. But Baltimore doesn't do good against the Steelers at home if Baltimore had a winning ATS record. And Baltimore does have a winning ATS record. So I like Pittsburgh here. I'm going to lay the 4 points with the Steelers.
I'm going to lean towards Pittsburgh. I'm not overly enthused with laying this amount of points, but I do believe it's the side. The motivation's there. It's clear. Win, and you're in. They were my top play last week, the Steelers. Shout out Mike T. Never going to have a losing season, or at least it continues. But I lean in their direction. I wouldn't be surprised if they walked them off by 3 in the end, though. But I think the motivation's there. They're the better team with all the sit-outs. I'm going to lean towards Pittsburgh.
I'm going to take Pittsburgh, too. I think if you can get it fairly reasonably, you just take it on the money line. No reason to even mess with it. I think they at least get the win. It seems that the Steelers' last few seasons have ended with them sitting out on the field watching a game that knocks them out of the playoffs.
Right.
So this year will be a little bit different. This year they'll probably show them sitting in someone's house watching the game, or I don't know how they'll be doing it. Maybe sitting at some kind of facility at Heinz Field outside. Probably be raining. Good day. They never, when they have those things, it never seems to be like bad weather for them. When they have the thing. Oh, let's all go to the stadium and watch the game. Well, this is a big one. This is the Texans and the Colts. I believe the winner is in. The loser could be out. Texans gone from worst to a playoff team, possible double-digit wins. Nothing short of miraculous. The Colts doing it without their quarterback the whole season, which kind of makes you think, that whole Florida State bullshit. Plus a lot more. Both these teams really have done a lot of it without their quarterback.
So, yeah, this game right here is just flat out. Ford, I believe. Well, the Texans, they win, and it's theirs. Hold on, let me double check. Something like that, basically. I know it's something weird because I think Jacksonville's still in there somehow too, but.
Well, I'm pretty sure Jacksonville wins the division with a win.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, these two teams are playing before Jacksonville plays, so they need to win. I mean,
I'm taking Houston. I think Houston's a better team. Those Colts, man, it just seems like whenever it's time for the Colts to do something, they fall flat. I think the Texans have a better defense. As the season has gone on, I've grown to trust C.J. Stroud. I know he doesn't have the same weapons he had early in the season, but I think this is a Texans game. I do. Hell of a season for both. These are two coaches that both came in and are trying to change the narrative, and their franchise for the better. I'm taking DeMeco Ryans and company here, though. I am. Houston, we have a problem.
That Colts.
That Colts. That coach. Just knew we weren't going to win.
I don't know. I think this is a tough one. I think the Colts at home, it's basically a home playoff game for them at this point. Got a rookie QB. I'm going to roll with the Colts in this one. I know it's contrary to popular opinion. Is the line moving because Jonathan Taylor is out? Is he out this one? Because that would be the one thing that I wouldn't bet because they don't have any depth at running back with Zach Moss has been out. Let's see. Zach Moss is questionable for this one. Jonathan Taylor not on the injury list. Yeah, I like the Colts for sure.
Yeah, I like the under. First time these two teams met, the over-under line was 40. And now the line's 47.5. So I definitely going to look at the under here. The Colts have not played a game with an over-under line this high in any of their last 30 games. And the Texans have only played 2 games this season with an over-under line north of 47. Both of those were only 48. So I'm looking at this over-under line of 47.5. I just think it's too high given where the over-under lines were for these two teams all season long. The Texans they're 10-6 under for the season.
I wonder how many times the Texans have played in primetime games in the last 5 years.
Yeah, like probably a lot on Thursday night where they put the garbage games, but other than that, I don't think on Monday, right? Yeah, I'm taking the under 47.5.
Well, we got the other piece of the equation now. First thing on Sunday, January 7th, got the Jaguars and the Titans. I don't like the way the Jags have been playing coming into this, but they looked good last week, but they played against, the Panthers. And then the Titans have been pretty terrible this season. Musical chairs at QB. But I like them getting the 5.5 at home, nothing to play for in the spoiler role for sure against a Jaguars team that I don't know. I don't like coaches that can't figure out how many points they need. So it's like I'm gonna take the Titans here. I just think it's too many points for a home team in this spot, even with no quarterback.
Yeah, I see also Christian Kirk has been upgraded to questionable, which would be a big thing, obviously, for Jacksonville. They really need him. I don't know if Lawrence is going to play. He's still questionable. But I agree with you, Mitch. I think, this is Tennessee's playoff game. Nothing to play for, but I think they will enjoy being the spoiler. And I don't like what I've seen out of Jacksonville to be laying 5.5 points on the road to Tennessee at all. So Tennessee was blown out last week by Houston. I think they're back in front of their home fans. They're going to redeem themselves. I'm going to take the 5.5.
Sweep it. I'm taking Tennessee as well. Like you guys said, there's no better spot than the last game of the season playing the spoiler role against your division rival. Jacksonville probably does win it, but Tennessee is going to give them everything they can handle. They always do. So why don't they here? I want the points in my back pocket. Give me Tennessee at the crib.
The Lions have a shot here to get second place in the standings, but they need a win. They need a Cowboy loss. I'm not even sure that does it for them, right? Do they have it over the Eagles? Where are the Eagles at? Yeah, so I don't even know if they would have it over the Eagles or not if the Cowboys lost. Let's see. It doesn't really say. ESPN just really ignores it, that even as a scenario.
Because it ain't happening, but
Yeah, I think Dan Campbell has to assume that Dallas is going to beat the Commanders, and I think Detroit might sit some people.
Jay?
Let's see. We at Detroit -3 currently.
I think they'll be scoreboard watching, you know?
Well, Dallas plays at 4:25, so there's no scoreboard to
That
really
should
watch.
never happen. That should never, ever happen. They would, that was the whole idea of putting all these games on Sunday was that they play at the
Right,
same time.
but now it's like when they divide them up and make some games at 8 o'clock and some games on Saturday. I mean, they're really, you know, I don't know. It worked out for the most part this year, but there's going to be some years if they try to do it where some team's going to have an advantage.
I'm not right now. This game makes my head hurt. It's Lions for me here. I'm expecting that everybody's going to play it right now. Um, I don't want any parts of Nick Mullins in the Vikings. I can tell you that right here, right now. I don't want no parts. No parts. Um, I know I kind of just said that they would love to play the spoiler role too, but it's not really the same because Detroit's going regardless, and Detroit's at home here. Um, I'm leaning Lions, but this is probably one of the games I'm going to have to update you guys on later in the week.
I'm going to take the Lions. Nick Mullins is terrible. And,
Terrible.
Terrible. Taking the Lions. They have something to play for, and I think that, it would be a travesty, man, if somehow the Commanders beat the Cowboys and the Lions didn't get, because they took their foot off the gas.
And off the bad loss last week, want to get some positive momentum heading into the postseason. I could see that angle too.
Well, we've got the.
I like the Vikings, so I'll break the what you two guys are doing. I'm going to take the Vikings. I mean, it's
division rival spoiler role.
It's also the fact that Mullins threw 4 interceptions. In that game 2 weeks ago. Yeah, but I mean now, I just think he's going to play much better. And I like the Vikings plus a point. I'm not sure who's going to play, for Detroit, to be honest with you. So,
question: would you bet this game now, or would you wait?
I would have bet it before it moved down to 3. How's that for an answer? I would have taken. It's 3.5 still. It's 3.5 at circa, but I mean, the time to bet it was at +4.
For sure. For sure.
Well, we got the Browns and the Bengals. No Bengals in the playoffs this year. The Browns are sitting Joe Flacco. Who would have thought that would have mattered, at any point in time? It's like, oh no, Joe Flacco's sitting. It's like, who would have even thought like that would even be a story? But the Browns are in. And I tell you, they're the type of team that you get into the playoffs. I don't think anyone wants to play them. Can you imagine if they still had Nick Chubb running the football? Oh, man.
So they're probably going to play the winner of the AFC South. And I like them technically. They might be favored over all 3 of them. Indy, Houston, or Jacksonville. In that wild card round. So, look at the Browns. I think my guy Jake Browning goes out with a bang, though. Jake Shiesty, one more time for the one time at the crib. They do this one big. They beat up on the Browns like they did something. And they had a solid season. They kept things afloat. They didn't just fold over and lay down. They'll be back. When the real Shiesty get back next season, Joe they'll be right back in the mix. But I'm gonna lay the points with Cincinnati at the group. You going out with me too, Mitch? One more time on Jake Brr.
I'm taking Cincinnati. This is still a rivalry, and I think they're going to show up
Me
in
too.
Cincinnati for this one. It's their first year not in the playoffs in recent years, but still think they're going to show up. Take the Bengals. They hate the Browns. They finish with a winning record.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to join you guys too. The line's all the way up to 7 right now. Cleveland is 5-21 ATS versus a revenge-minded foe that it defeated earlier in the season. The Bengals are 25-9 ATS in their final home game of the season if they're not laying more than 7. So take the Bengals, end the season with some kind of happiness, I guess.
They're gonna go into next season, Mitch. You know with what? Hope.
Yeah, they are going to have hope. It'll be a hopeful season with Joe Burrow back. Probably, and they'll probably get a reasonable draft pick, with for the first time in a while. They probably have holes to fill because when you win, it's like all those guys wanted money, and it's like you got to fill some holes, the depth. Got the Falcons and the Saints. I think the Saints have a shot to be in.
Yes, they do. The Saints need a Bucks loss, and if they win, they're in. But it's not happening. But yeah, well, I won't say it's not happening, but it's not happening. The Bucks got the Panthers, so there's that. Both games are at noon, so there's no scoreboard watching here. Well, kinda, but they're going at the same time. So what you thinking here, Mitch?
Ah, man, it is a scoreboard watcher's game, but I don't know. Saints are so bad, but they did look good last week. They're so bad. Falcons are terrible. Neither of these teams are going anywhere. I'll take the Saints. Why not? At home, rivalry game. I think this is the under push game. These guys always play it close.
I'm gonna take the Falcons. Atlanta is now 24-2 ATS at New Orleans. If Atlanta was not off back-to-back wins and not favored by 6 or more points, so just grabbing the points with the Falcons. Should see it at 3.5 right now.
Yeah, over a field goal, I want the points with the Falcons. The Saints do have superpowers in the Superdome, but Falcons would love to play the spoiler role too. And the Falcons can. I think the Falcons can still get in too. I think the scenario is the same for them. I think, but they might be done. No, I think they're done. I forgot, but yeah, I want the points in my back pocket here. Even though the Saints can still get in, they're not getting in because the Bucks, they're not losing to the Panthers. But give me the Falcons.
Don't love that game.
Me either.
Got another crappy game. This could be Bill Belichick's last game as the head coach of the Patriots in New England. Up against the JETS Jets. Could be Robert Sala's last game as the coach of the Jets.
Nah, they said Salah coming back.
Oh, I'm sure he is. Vote of confidence. It could be a double firing here. They're all fired.
Rodgers is all in on Salah, so I believe he is coming back.
Jay, you should be writing these coaches and see maybe they'll send you their shoes, when they fire, because the shoes won't match the new uniform. The team get the. Well, one of my friends' sons would sit at the floor. They had floor tickets for the Heat, and he would hold up a sign starting in the fourth quarter that said, "Hey, whoever, give me your shoes." And he had a whole collection of these shoes from these guys. They all did it. Giant shoes. Giant ass basketball player shoes. They sign them. But we got the Patriots and the Jets, man. This is just terrible football here. It's like you have one AFC East battle that's, both teams are in the playoffs more than likely and, possibly going places. And then you have this one where, two teams that started the season. Well, the Jets had so much hope. They were favored to win the division. Aaron Rodgers is kind of going at it with everybody right now. Guess Jimmy Kimmel's suing his ass, too. I'd love to see how that one plays out. Everyone knows I'm Team Rodgers. I am. I like him because he's smart. He has the answers. It's like they act like he's just some quarterback or whatever, but actually he's like super smart. I mean, he beat the astronaut on Jeopardy. He whipped their ass. I mean, he was like way smart. Went to Cal, right? Went full 4 years. Graduated.
Not all 4 years, no. I mean, he was a transfer. He played junior college for the first 2 years of his college, right?
I don't think so.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, he transferred. He played for this junior college you've never heard of. Look it up. Butte, Butte Community College.
Yeah, Butte. 1 year at Butte.
Yeah, but only 2 years at Cal. I mean, so maybe he was a backup his first year at Butte. I don't know what it was, but anyway, he only played 2 years at Cal.
Got the pool guy here. Redoing the pool. So nah, he didn't. My pool guy ruined his impression of college sports. Explained to you how much each player gets paid. Went through the list. Destroyed the image. It's the way it is, though. Anyways. What are you guys thinking?
For me, it's the under.
Jay?
A couple reasons.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, the forecast is for 15-mile-an-hour winds, possible snowstorm, which could be fun. Up to 5 inches of snow could accumulate. And so that bodes well for a low-scoring game. And beyond that, as you said, Mitch, these two teams are just horrible teams. And late in the year, when you get matchups between bad teams, the under is generally the play. Matchups between bad teams with over-under lines of 44 points or less, the under is 197 and 147 under. So I'm going to take the under. I think it's 30.5 right now.
You guys know I love storylines. You guys know I love motivation spots and all those things. I have been one that is telling you guys that Bill Belichick will be done in New England after this season, for most of the season. And how storybook would it be for him to end it with smashing the Jets? It just seems fitting. Yeah.
I think it would be more fitting if he's on his way out for him to get destroyed.
I don't know. Nah, Bill Belichick.
The storyline is him leaving. Isn't that the more fitting for that storyline? Is that they lose the game 24-3?
When what was Kobe's last game with the Lakers? 60. This is Bill Belichick's last game. They finna do this one big.
Yeah, but I would say a fitting ending for Belichick would be a shutout.
It very well could be.
We're
only laying 2. You know what I mean? But I could see it.
It's also Zach Wilson's farewell game in New York too.
Are you saying that he's going to coach another team, or are you saying that this is it? He's done.
He's it. There's no reason for him to coach another team.
I still believe he's going to the Chargers next year.
No chance.
I think Jim Harbaugh is at the Chargers next year.
I think Harbaugh wins it with Michigan and signs a lifetime contract, bro.
No chance. No chance.
No chance. I think
No
Harbaugh's.
chance.
I think Harbaugh's in the NFL, even if they lose the game to Washington.
No
I think
chance,
he's.
man. That guy's got ego so big, man. It's like can't fit through the door.
But nah,
There's
I
no
think
way he's
Belichick going
staying.
to the Chargers. We'll see. We'll see.
I don't understand why he would. Why would you?
Because you're on the West Coast. You're out of Boston. You're in Cali
Well,
on the
why would you
beach.
want to go and start all over again?
Because you then go over there. They're going to give you the keys because they've never done anything, and you have a franchise.
They've been to a couple Super Bowls. They've
Nah,
been.
they've never won. So you have all the success. You have a franchise quarterback who needs some help, needs some guidance. It just to me it just sets up perfectly. You can still go over there, win some games, chase the record. You're out of the New England shadow. I like it. I do.
I think he's done.
For the Chargers, why they do it, because we know this is an overreaction league. So they went far left with Staley. Now, what's the polar opposite of Staley? Bill Belichick.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna do that.
We'll see.
I think they would. But if you're the Chargers, who do you want? Do you want Belichick or do you want Harbaugh? I mean, obviously you could probably get either one, right? Because it's a great situation. But who's your top choice? Is it Harbaugh or is it Belichick?
Apples
I would
to
take
oranges.
Belichick.
It's apples to oranges, whatever you want.
It's not even close.
I mean,
Yeah,
I think it would be hard to say no to Belichick, right? Because if the best coach in the history of the game wants to be there, like if he says, "I want a fresh start," how do you say no to that?
I don't think he's gonna. I don't think he wants that job.
He might just want to take a year off. Who knows?
I think he's gonna retire. How old is he?
It's got to be close to 70.
Yeah, I don't think he wants it. I think if he was really close to Shula's record, that he would do it. But it's like because of the last few years that he's had, he's not that close. And it's like it would take him a few years.
71.
Yeah. So he'd be 76, 77 going for Shula's record. I'll tell you what, if I'm still on here on YouTube at 71, just tell me to get the hell off. Just throw me off. So that's it. I don't even put me on the Chargers, or the Jets for that matter. None of these shit. Man. Just throw me the hell out.
I'm gonna be dragging you out at least weekly.
They'll be propping me up, man. They'll be propping my ass up with a stick. I'll be like Weekend at Bernie's, man.
I'm gonna prop you up like what's his name?
They're already calling me old. It's like imagine when I'm that old. Like I've been called old since I was like in my mid-30s on YouTube. That old guy.
He's only 14 wins behind Shula.
It's funny.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. He could do it. He could do it. He's gonna go to.
No, he's not.
I'm looking
Regular season.
Oh, okay. Well, with everything combined, it's 340. Like regular and postseason, he's 14 wins. Let me take a look at regular season only. Regular season only, it's 26 wins.
Yeah. So that's at least 3
seasons with Herb.
Maybe 3 seasons.
3-4 seasons with Herb might get it done.
Maybe.
I think you're looking at 4 seasons.
Yeah, minimum.
4 seasons with Lil Herb. He locked in.
Yeah, but this is the thing with the Chargers, right? This is the thing with the Chargers. 13-4 for any other team is 10-7 with the Chargers because that's how they are. They lose 3 games at least that any normal team would win.
You're right. You're right.
They've always been like that, no matter who the coach. They had Marty Schottenheimer, it was the same thing.
But which record is more? If you got the record with postseason included, is that bad? I mean, there it's only 14.
I think that might actually be the better one for me, in my opinion.
Because that's every game you've ever coached. I don't know. I'd be happy with that if I had the all-time record with regular season and postseason combined. So he could do that in 1 year. At that point, just stay at New England, right?
I don't know. Somebody in the comments said I'm a visionary. Yes, I am.
Well, anyways, he needs this one over the Jets to make it closer than he is. Got the Panthers and the Bucks. The Bucks need this one, right? If the Bucks win, they're in. Is that how this goes?
Yep.
They were terrible last week against the Saints. Really the worst game they've played all season. Where is this thing? Looking for Bucks.
Do I go out one more time? Is the $1,000,000 question with my guys, man.
That's the Bears.
I want to know what Big Al finna do here. You going out with the Panthers one last time, Big Al?
100%. I mean, I think that loss last week came out of nowhere, to be honest with you. The team had been playing better. You know, I mean, to get shut out 26-0 like it did, I think everyone on the coaching staff was surprised. I was surprised. To me, I think you just burn the tape, don't watch it. You know, it's just one of those games where nothing went right. And I like it to bounce back. I like it, you know, especially like it as a home underdog. You know, I mean, Tampa Bay has everything to play for. Carolina has supposedly nothing to play for. But teams off shutout losses, you know, they've gone 66-40 ATS when priced from +3.5 to +9.5. This is right in that wheelhouse, currently at 4.5. I mean, yeah, Panthers all day long.
I'm on the Panthers too, man. One more time. I've been on them all year. I got to go out with them. But it's kind of the same thing I talked about earlier, man. Home team, spoil roll against the divisional opponent. They're going to give them everything they got. It's probably not going to be enough to win it in the end, you know, but I think it's going to be enough for the cover. That's what we're doing here. We're not looking for the win. We're looking for the cover. Tampa's looking for the win, and they get it and get into the postseason. But I think the Panthers cash our ticket.
I'm taking the Bucks. There's no way I'm going with the Panthers. They've already wrapped up the Bears' first overall pick in the draft. Terrible. The Bucks have a ton to play for here. They were terrible last week. I think the Bucks step it back up. Take a shot. Another one, don't necessarily love. We got the Rams against the 49ers. I think the Rams win and they're in, or are they already in?
Rams are in.
The Rams are already in. They're the 6th seed, possibly the 7th. It looks like they're the 6th. The 6th seed, so they'll play the Lions.
They're the 6th or the 7th, depending on what happens.
So they play Lions or Cowboys. They lost badly to the Cowboys. I think they have a shot against the Lions. The way they're running the football. I think I'm going to roll with the Rams plus the points. Are the 49ers playing their players?
No.
Yeah, I'll take
I don't think neither team's playing their players.
Oh, then I'll take the 49ers because the Rams were terrible in the preseason. They were just absolutely hideous. So if it's like that preseason, I got to go with the 49ers if the Rams aren't playing their players because the Rams were the worst in the preseason.
Yeah, I mean, Carson Wentz is the starter.
For the Rams? Oh, I can't bet on him.
Sam Darnold's the starter for the 49ers. This is a situation when I look at this game, you know, these two coaches, they know they're going to be matched up against one another. Very good chance in the divisional round. You know, if the Rams win, they're going to be playing the 49ers, you know, 2 weeks from now, right? So I don't think either of these two coaches is going to be showing the other coach anything. You're going to have vanilla game plans on both sides. They don't want to give the other coach anything to really, look at. So I think it's going to be a very low scoring game. The over underline reflects that, unfortunately, all the way down to 41 right now. The side is -4 points. I'm going to just take the points. It's either the under or the +4, but I think in a very low scoring game, I'm just going to take the +4 and look for the Rams to, squeak in. Maybe they'll kick a last second meaningless field goal and cover.
Like they did last time.
Right.
I'm gonna take a sneaky over. I think Darnold and Wentz, they know what time it is, man. They sat back and watched all this terrible quarterback play and said, "You know what? I could have been out there doing some of that."
No way. No way.
I do, man. We got Stick playing, and we saw a terrible quarterback play this year. It's only fitting to end it out with these two guys, and they're going to give us a show too. It's going to be insane. I think they give us a show. Taking the over, Niners, Rams. Two of my guys, Darnold, Wentz. One last time, one last rodeo. I like both for an INT as well. I like both of their over passing yards. I think they both come out trying to sling it.
Got the Packers and the Bears. Packers need this one.
I want the Packers to win the game so bad. I want the Packers to win this game with every bone in my body. To set it up, man. Oof.
To set what up?
They play the Cowboys, right?
Big Al, man. I don't know how many sleepless nights I've had due to these damn Green Bay Packers. We were robbed when Dez caught it. Then Aaron Rodgers with the dot on the sideline. Dak's rookie year. The Packers just have been the thorn in my Cowboys side in my lifetime. So I can't wait to unleash this ass whooping they got coming for them.
Okay.
I'm taking the Bears. I think they're just playing better football right now, and they love beating the Packers if they get their chance. I think they're just going to leave it all out on the field, and then Justin Fields has more to play for than anybody, either as quarterback of the Bears or as a free agent. I think that this guy, he gets in the right situation. I mean, I'd rather have him than Dak any day of the week.
What's the losing streak right now for the Bears against the Packers? Is it 9?
Something like that.
It is something like that, right?
It's going to Dallas, man, for Justin Fields. Take over for Dak.
Whatever.
Dak will be holding that clipboard on the sideline. Wondering what the hell just happened.
Justin Fields going to Atlanta.
Dak's going to be talking to Trey Lance on the sideline during the game. The clipboards will have a little Microsoft Focus, whatever it is.
Surface.
I'm just looking. So the over-under is still sitting at 44, which I need. I'm going to take the under in this game. The Packers, 2 weeks ago, they combined for 63 points against the Carolina Panthers. Last week, the Packers also went over the total by 1 point against the Vikings. The total was, they combined for 43. The over-under was 42. The Bears and Cardinals also went over by 1 point 2 weeks ago. And then last week, the Bears and Falcons went over by 15 points. So you've got these two teams each going over the total their last two games. In division games with lines of 44 or more points, they've gone under 61.2% if both teams didn't go under in any of their two previous games. So long as the line remains at 44 or higher, I'm taking the under.
I am taking the Packers. Probably just going to take a money line um, and pay up a little bit for it. But in the words of Aaron Rodgers, I own you.
Yeah, but
We
he
own
owns them, but the Packers.
the
Yeah, I
Packers.
mean, I mean, like if Aaron Rodgers isn't starting, I don't know.
I mean, they whooped them earlier this season, first game of the year at 38-20. So it
Yeah,
continues.
but one win isn't ownership. That just means that Love
I
is
get it.
1-0 against them.
I get it. The Bears did play well down the stretch, but like I said, the Packers, it's winning in. I'm gonna be their biggest fan this week. Chiefs. They locked up the division last week, right?
Yep.
I believe it. Yeah. So are they playing for anything here? Is there seating on the line, like 3 to 4? Are they locked in where they are? I think they're
I'm not
locked
sure
in.
if they're locked in, but they've already made the decision. They're not playing, folks.
Okay.
Yeah, they're locked in. The Dolphins and the Bills both are the Bills and the Dolphins both at 11-5 coming in. The Chiefs at 10-6. So I think they both own the tiebreak over Chiefs.
Cool.
The Bills
Yeah,
beat
Blake.
the Bills beat the Chiefs, but actually the Chiefs beat the Dolphins. It
Blaine
would,
Gabbert's going to start
I
for
guess it
the.
wouldn't matter because if the Dolphins lose, they're not going to win the division. So it won't matter. Yeah,
But they can't. But if Kansas City falls to 10-7, they're still ahead of Jacksonville at 10-7. Correct.
yeah, they beat them head up,
Right.
straight up.
Okay.
And the thing is, the Bills beat the Chiefs. The Dolphins lost to the Chiefs, but it doesn't matter because the Dolphins, if they win, they have a better record than the Chiefs. If the Bills win, they have a better record. Anyways, I'm taking the Chiefs, even though Blaine Gabbert. I'm gonna go with
Blaine
the
Gabbert.
Chargers. I'm taking the Chargers plus the points. The farewell tour of whoever's there. I don't know, man. I think the Chargers should break it all the way down. And I don't think Bill Belichick's up for that. I don't think he is. I think that Harbaugh would be. He would know. He would get to have his guys and his, that's the way he does it. He'd have an excuse for losing the first few years. He loves that. Loves excuses for losing.
I'm going to take the over. The line's down to 35 right now, obviously reflecting the lack of talent on the field. But I also think, what we're going to see here is a lot of Kansas City's defensive players stay out too. And I think the Chargers are going to be able to move the ball. Chargers have gone over the total in their final game of the season, 14 of the last 17 years. Kansas City's gone over the total 6 of the last 8 in their final road game of the season. And at 35, yeah, the over is pretty good. I'll take the over.
Taking the Chiefs. I'm probably going to end up on a money line. Expecting the Chargers to beat the Chiefs, even their backups, to me is laughable. I can't. I can't. Gabbert gonna come out here and have a master class. I believe it. Give me Blaine Gabbert, man, the Jacksonville Jaguar legend. On the Chiefs. Plus the points for sure. I'm not laying points with the Chargers. So.
Got the Raiders and the Broncos. The Raiders have not officially named this guy their head coach going forward. Could be Belichick in Vegas. Vegas Bill Belichick.
They just ran McDaniel out of town. They're not going to bring in Bill.
Maybe they'll bring in Kirby Smart or someone like that. They certainly have the money to do it.
I mean, it could also be Harbaugh too.
a question here in our chat on our site. This is a good one. This is for you, Al. It's actually on the website, not on the YouTube. It says, I just bought Big Al's package. Are his picks just computer generated, or does he make them?
They're the exact opposite of computer generated. It's painstaking research on my part. It's not push a button and a computer spits out the plays. It's the opposite of that.
Yep. Funny.
Be nice if they were computer generated and I didn't have to work.
Right.
My wife's wearing her
Two different people
hoodie.
can interpret the same data two different ways. So
Yeah, I mean that's what I think a lot of people don't understand about this stuff is how you look at data and how you process the data determines everything. It's one thing if you have now you could have an algorithm which is statistics based and it says that the Lions are 3.3 points better than the Carolina Panthers and we're going to take it if it's X number of points away from the line, but that's not what I'm doing. So that would be, I guess, computer generated, but what I'm doing is the exact opposite of that.
Sure.
Every day I find money on my desk. I just have a pile of it over here. I'm gonna buy a boat with it when all is said and done.
All I ever have on my desk is loose change. What kind of money do you have on your desk?
I got $1, $2, $3, $4. And I got 100, 2, 3, 400, 25, 35, 36, 37. So $441. Sitting on the desk. I don't even know how long it's been there. I never use cash. I never leave the house with a penny in my pocket. Not a penny. I have like on the back of my phone all my credit cards and like a little phone wallet. That's it. I like the Raiders against the Broncos, though. I do think that this coach leaves it all out on the field. I can't stand Sean Payton. It's kind of getting on my nerves.
I like the Broncos. I think it's hard to imagine that the Raiders would have a 7-game win streak against any team, and especially against a division rival. But they've actually defeated Denver in the last 7 meetings, which is so hard to believe. I just think that win streak ends this Sunday. And is the line still 2.5, guys?
That's what I'm seeing.
Still 2.5.
Yep.
I mean, that's a lot of points, I think, for the Raiders to lay to anyone. And if I can get an AFC West division underdog playing with revenge from a loss earlier in the season, those AFC West underdogs, if they're getting less than 7, they're 72-40 ATS. So notwithstanding the fact they're on a 7-game losing streak, I'm going to take the revenge-minded Broncos plus 2.5.
I'm going to lean Raiders. Probably just money line, but I'm not overly in love with it. Coach Pierce is coaching for his job here. I don't know if they're going to give it to him. I don't. I don't. I would love to see him win it. I think he did enough too. I don't know what else he really could have done with what he was given to have earned this job. But that's not the world we live in. And in a world where there are some very sexy names out there this offseason, I could see the Raiders going and grabbing one.
Yeah, I mean, this is $1 billion business, and so much of it is marketing and
I get it.
Like you said, when there's a sexy name out there, and you've got, they're paying their place kickers over $1 million for God's sake. So
I get it. I definitely get it, man. But even so, they probably go out on a bang for him, because one thing that I have seen this year is that they do rock with him. This locker room rocks with him in Vegas. And I think they probably do it big for his last one. So that's I'm a sucker. I know probably, but I'm gonna lean towards the Raiders. Let me say he doesn't say they don't give him the head coaching job. Do they bring him back? Like, do you think anybody else is looking at him for the head coaching
Pierce?
job?
I've seen that happen before, where a guy was the interim, they didn't bring him back, but he still stayed on the staff. That can happen.
Luke Fickle
but yeah, and
at Ohio State.
yeah,
It's rare.
I mean
Very rare.
but it does happen, and he's gonna be on someone's sideline. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, for sure. What you think here, Mitch?
I like the Raiders. All day. All day and twice on Sunday. It's a great time of year to go to Vegas. It's usually not too crowded. Normally, actually it is. It's CES. I think CES starts. Actually,
What's
it
that?
is. That's the busiest time in Vegas.
What is that?
Is that the Consumer Electronics Show?
Consumer Electronics Show. It is the busiest.
CES is an annual trade show organized by the Consumer Technology Association, held in January.
It is. Normally, I'm there for that, and it is the busiest of busiest. Like hotel rooms are like $1,000 for regular hotel rooms.
Crazy. I didn't know.
Not going this year. I haven't been in a while, actually. I haven't been in 3 years. Yeah. A few years ago, my friend has a cell phone case company, and they have a contest every year for cell phone cases. And they have a crane. They just elevate it up about 25 feet every time, and they drop a brand new iPhone in the cell phone case. It's like, see if there's any damage. They drop it. It's like they get like 10 stories up in the air dropping these cell phones. They have all kinds of stuff like that. Usually they have like a big release of products, Google Home, stuff like that. They go way overboard on the advertising budget on products that are probably not going to be that big. Like Apple's not there. Apple doesn't go. Anyways, Seahawks and the Cardinals. If the Cardinals played in the NFC East, they'd be in first place. But they're not.
No, they would not. But
They would. Well, they would beat everybody. They would own them. They own them.
Fair, man. Fair.
Seahawks, I guess they have a chance still, but not much. Seahawks win the tiebreak against the Saints.
Seattle, I believe they win and they're in, right? I think they get the 7th seed, the last one.
I don't think so. No, the Packers are ahead of them.
Oh, yeah, they are. You're right.
Yep.
You're right.
They need the Packers to lose.
Loss. They need the Packers lost. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Wait, Yep. What do you think?
Everybody laughed at me when I told them the fraud, Geno, fraud, Seattle, fraud.
8-8.
Fraud.
A fraud of what? What's the fraud?
Everybody had them shoe in playoffs, shoe in this. Geno.
I don't think so.
We love some Geno. Now,
the 49ers were picked to win that division, and they're still.
Yeah, they were. But I mean, how many people thought that the Rams would be the second team out of that division, not the Seahawks? That's the thing. Let me see. Big Al, you can go. I'm sorry. I just had to talk my shit.
Oh no! I like Seattle. I mean, I just want to go against Arizona off that upset win last week. They beat the Eagles 35-31 as an 11-point underdog. When you get an unrested team off an upset win as an underdog of more than 10. They're 38-71 ATS, including 0-7 ATS as a division home dog. So I'm taking Seattle here, minus the points, minus 2.5.
I actually do lean towards Seattle in this game too. Shout out them Cardinals for last week, and I've bet the Cardinals damn near every week. I tell y'all that all the time. But I might actually jump off here. Last week was my Super Bowl for the Cardinals. They did it. So thank you. Here in this game, Seattle has more to play for. I know this is probably not going to go their way, but that doesn't mean they don't come out here and try to get it done. So what times? This game's at 3:30. They will. Who's it? They'll know, right?
They play at the same time as the Cowboys.
No. What's on the Packers game?
Packers
No,
game's
so
at
the
1.
Packers game's at 3:30 as well. So no, they won't know. So they got to come out here and play. Taking Seattle.
Yeah, the schedule is actually late loaded this week. 6 early, 7 late.
Yeah, I'm gonna lean towards Seattle in this game. Even though y'all know I love talking shit about
I'll take Seattle also. Cardinals off the upset. Got the Eagles against the Giants. This is a dropping line in this thing. For whatever reason it may be. They just played 2 weeks ago.
It was a good game.
I think the Eagles are going to starch the Giants. Giants got so lucky to cover last week. They got that punt return for the touchdown. They got so lucky.
Shout out to G-Man.
Taking the Eagles. Big.
I haven't heard word on what's going on with the Eagles in this game, Big Al. Have you? Like, are they sitting folk? Are they going balls to the wall?
I don't know. I'm just more interested in the over-under than the side anyway. So,
Yeah.
It's ticked up from last night. It was 41. Now it's back up to 42. Opened at 45, which was way too high. I like the under 42. I'd like it. I'd really like it if it was 40, 45, 46, 47 range. But, both of these teams are coming off back-to-back high-scoring games. One was against each other. These two teams played 2 weeks ago, and that game was won by Philadelphia 33-25, and it went over the total by 17 points. Last week, the Giants and Rams went over the total by 7.5 points. The Eagles and Cardinals went over the total by 19 points. And going back to 1980, when you get two teams that each went over the total in their two previous games by 7 or more points, not surprisingly, they go under the next week 59.2% of the time. So I like the under 42.
Got the
I lean towards Philly, but I'm probably gonna leave this game alone.
sounds like you're Eagles fan.
Stop it.
Sounds like you're rooting for them.
Yeah, stop it. I do low key. Part of me does want them to kind of heat up and catch a little steam and go and beat the Niners for me. So then they can come to Jerry World and get their head knocked off too. We'll see. We got 2 games left.
Yep, we got the Cowboys and the Commanders. Cowboys 13.5-point favorites on the road.
I'm taking the Commanders. This is the Commanders spot, bro. I done seen it happen too many times. They love this spot right here. Trying to play spoil against the Cowboys. Oh, they love it. They're going to give me double digits with them. I'm going to take them too. Yeah, my Cowboys, we're going to win and get the second seed. But laying double digits on the road, I can't do it. Won't do it. Not against the Commanders. They're going to give us the game of a lifetime. Like, it might take like a last-second drive from Dak to win this game. It's the type of game these games always seem to be with the Commanders when it's late season. I'm taking the Commanders plus the points.
Last time Jay took the team with big points against the Cowboys at home, they got the doors blown off them. I think I'm going to take the Cowboys. I think we got this one. I look for a big day. I like a lot of these overs on the player props, like CeeDee Lamb and Dak. I like the Cowboys big. I think they need a get-right spot. And we haven't seen them blow a team out in a month.
Yeah, I just don't like taking road favorites at the end of the season when the home underdog's coming off a Suat's loss. Going back 44 years, home dogs off a Suat's loss. They've cashed 58% toward the end of the season. Just not going to fade that. So I'll take the 13.
And the season finale for the AFC East title. It's the Bills and the Dolphins. The winner gets number 2 seed, so 2 possible home games. Maybe even 3, depending on what happens with the Ravens. And the loser, well, they're on the road. Probably going to Kansas City. Would they go to Kansas City or they'd go to probably the winner of the AFC South is who they would play.
So the AFC South is probably going to be against Cleveland. So, yeah, I think this one.
Kansas City.
Yeah, Kansas City.
Right.
Well, Dolphins are banged up, that's for sure. Really dumb coaching decisions at the end of that game last week. Leaving the guys in. Never really understood that. But that's what they did. Howard, doubtful. He was injured early. Waddle should play in this one. Tua probably going to play. Bradley Chubb's out for the season now. So both the Dolphins' defensive ends are out for the season. I love the Dolphins in this one. I think they beat them outright. We saw the Dolphins in the playoffs last year against the Bills in Buffalo with whatever his name was, Skylar Thompson, nearly take down the Bills. They just couldn't get the ball snapped. They snap the ball, they get it in field goal range, they kick the field goal and win. In Buffalo, in the cold weather and all that stuff. And Miami beat Buffalo last year in Miami. I don't see it. I'm taking Miami in this one outright money line.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mitch. I'm just going to take the points instead of the money line, though. But again, it's home underdog, end of the season, off a Suat's loss. Take the points.
Sweet.
Wow, Jay's taking the Dolphins.
Yeah. I'm on the Dolphins here. I'm fading Buffalo. I think we're going to get Buffalo Chiefs again in the playoffs. And Mahomes going to walk them off again. I'm always looking ahead. But I just think the Dolphins bounce back here. They're a talented team. They have been all season. Buffalo, they did catch fire as the season has gone along. They aren't the team they were earlier this season. But I still think player for player, roster for roster, man for man, the Dolphins are the better team, and I think they find a way to win it.
All right. Well, that's it. 18 weeks, 17 games a team. wraps up the regular season. We'll be back for a playoff show next week, just 6 games. And we'll go from there. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Get all of our picks over at Pick Dogs. Make it a winning week.
Peace.